Perfect. Well, we've swapped students around again, and Tim Marston has taken the chair with the microphone. Tim, tell us about you and what CEO means to you.
I'm a junior at Murfreesboro High School, and CEO means a lot to me. It's like what I want to do with my future. It's one of the steps that I think I may need for my future to excel in what I want to do, or an idea that I want to do.
Okay. So any do you have an idea that you can talk about, like that where you might want to go with the class?
Or is your secret also?
No, I can.
Okay.
I can tell you about it. I have a couple ideas. One is it's kind of like a prep sports app. It gives you scores daily and like stats and such that have to do with prep sports.
Mhm.
And then the other one's like cell phone cases, because everyone seems to need a cheap, reliable cell phone case.
Now, you're a junior. Is this a program that you can do again as a senior? Can you do this more than once?
Can I answer that?
You
for
can.
me? Okay.
Ken Stoner, the facilitator of Jackson CEO, is over my shoulder. So,
Well, the CEO program as a whole, this has come up before, not necessarily within Jackson County because this is still our first year, but in the past it's been allowed by other CEO programs. They still come through. Some of the speakers will be the same, some will be different, but because of the fact that they're continuously growing, they're going to take something different from it every time. So the decision has yet to come up for us, but I'm certainly hoping that it's an option because I'd be very happy to see anyone in this room again.
wow, it sounds like he likes you, Tim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would hope so.
That's
I see him every morning.
That's a good thing. So, what's the future hold for you? What do you think after post graduation? What will you be doing?
Like I said this morning, I kind of want to attend Middle Tennessee State, and I want to probably go into special education or athletic director in that field. So education probably.
Very cool. Okay, who's left? Zach, I think you're the only one left that we've not talked with yet. So come on over. And obviously, you know the routine by now. You've heard the other five. So tell us about you and what's the coolest thing about CEO?
I'm a senior from Murfreesboro High School. Coolest thing, definitely, I'd have to agree with Cutter. Just meeting all the people. You definitely broaden your horizon. I was always just around my dad and, his friends. You sat and then just kind of broadens up really quickly.
What about surprises? Anything that stands out, like any particular challenges, or is anything that was maybe you're pleasantly surprised about?
The biggest surprise was how much support we have. Everybody who comes and talks to you at the end of the day is so grateful. They say they're so glad they got to come talk to us. But really, we're glad they came to talk to us in general. But it's just, I don't know. They just have such an outstanding support for us and are always there for us. People asking how we're doing after they've come talk to us. It's great.
So what's next for you? What's on the horizon?
Ooh, that's still a big question that floats around my house pretty frequently. But probably just start over at John A. probably, and then see where it goes from there. I'm looking at animal science. Me and my brother grew up around horses. Dad always gave us a great childhood with that, and we just kind of broadened it. Went out and bought cows, kind of our own little startup, and just see where it goes, and might excel in that.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
well, and that's not an unusual path. The CEO of Dipping Dots, who's an SIU grad, has an animal science degree and discovered that the way they make feed pellets, they could also do with ice cream, and so that's where that came from. So you can do about anything with some of these degrees.
Well,
so.
yeah, we've got some really interesting businesses that are looking at the area right now with like kind of aquaponics and some other different things too. And also, as you know, Les, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on at SIU with like raising prawns and different types of caviar and all kinds of
Exactly.
crazy stuff.
Lots
So
of
there's
lots
a lot
of
of potential.
opportunities. So, cool. Well, let's get the old guy in the room over here in front of the microphone. Ken Stoner is the facilitator of Jackson CEO, and Ken's also a counselor at the Illinois Small Business Development Center and a former teacher. So this is in your wheelhouse, teaching these young people about business and entrepreneurship, isn't it?
It is. It is. Certainly as much as I would have had any idea what this was going to be like. Whenever I first heard about it, I thought it sounded phenomenal. And when I came and spoke here before, I came into it just excited, but I had no idea. I had no idea going into it what kind of a wonderful experience it would be. I mean, you heard them. There's nothing I can say in the last time period that's going to do any justice to the program more than what they've already done.
Well, give our listeners some insight. It's just not a Jackson County program. This is the Jackson County version of it, but this is a program that's throughout the Midwest, right?
It is. It originated in Effingham with Craig Linval, and it's branched out quite rapidly from there to where now we have 6 counties in southern Illinois, and I'll do my best to list them here: Jackson, Williamson, Perry, Union, Randolph, and Saline.
Did all right there, didn't you?
Yeah, very good.
So they all have very successful programs, which is wonderful. As Zach said, the support from the community has been amazing, and I have yet to hear anything other than positive about any of the CEO programs. But as strong of a program as it is, it's going to continue growing and expanding, and I know that the CEO organization out of Effingham has many plans for that.
And Ken, talk a little bit about the impetus of Craig Linval to start the program, and the challenges and just the big idea and how that relates to Carbondale as well.
Oh, absolutely. So Craig Linval was actually a music teacher, and he went through and did all sorts of really incredible things as a teacher, including putting together videos and sending it out to world leaders all across the planet. And eventually he came up with the idea with a couple of different people of starting this entrepreneurship program. And so they gave him some time off from work, but it was one of those great risks because he wasn't going to be able to go back to his old position. And he started just with diving right in, and that's very much what he does. And I've those people who may be listening who have met Craig, certainly that's his personality. He is an all-in kind of person, and so he's incredibly infectious as far as his excitement is concerned. And so I met him first of all at the John A. Logan Community Leaders Breakfast that was put on by the Southern Illinoisan, and I immediately, within an hour of getting back to work, I went to Kyle Harfst and said, "How can I help? This is great. This is exciting." And so really that was the driving force for me, was Craig, and I'm sure that was the driving force for many others. Of course, Craig's had some health issues lately that's caused him to have to kind of step aside a little bit, but the program still lives on, and Craig is still as involved as he can be.
Now, there's no charge to these students, right, other than neckties and that kind of thing they have to pay for, but
Yes.
but it's free. It's just part of their normal high school education, right?
Correct. It's considered an academic program, so it doesn't even fall under the extracurricular guidelines. So they're regular classes, and then they just have to come in early, and they have to do extra work after. So it's a huge time investment on their part, but there's no financial anything on the line.
So how's it all funded?
It's all funded independently by local businesses and organizations. So we have, and you can see on our website at jacksonceo.org, we have all of our investors listed there, and our board reaches out to them and explains the program, and then a lot of times we have all sorts of organizations from all across Jackson County, all the way from local banks to the Chamber of Commerce.
And I know that driving force here, when you guys were first talking locally, Curtis Baird from Highline Ideas and Grand River Spirits, as well as John Pfeiffer from the Southern, were the folks that just kind of went out and beat the drum about Jackson CEO and recruited folks to not only sponsor or make donations, but also to present all the time.
Absolutely. Our board is incredible. The amount of support we have on a daily basis, I mean, we couldn't ask for anything better. Curtis Baird is our president. John Pfeiffer is our vice president. And then we have 2 superintendents, a principal. We have a representative from a local church, multiple business owners. SIU is involved through Kyle Harfst and Lynn Anderson Lindbergh. So really, it's wonderful support, and I know that they feel like, or I hope they feel like, they can reach out to anyone beyond just me on a daily basis.
And it's not just like financial commitments you want from businesses, right? It's there's opportunities for folks out there to mentor and to teach and to provide information on what it's like to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Yes, we really love to have our investors come and speak, especially because they are already quite literally invested in the program. And so they have been some of the best speakers we've had come through, because you can tell it means so much to them. And as far as mentors are concerned, we do have a one-on-one mentor program that coincidentally will start tomorrow morning. We're going to have a breakfast at Dunn Richmond, and they'll meet their mentors. They don't know who they are yet. I do, but I haven't told them yet. So it's really exciting.
So if folks out there, some of our businesses, if they're intrigued by this, if they're interested, if they want to get involved, how do they get in touch with you, Ken?
Well, there is a contact form on our website, or they can always contact Curtis Baird or John Pfeiffer, but all sorts of information is available on our website at jacksonceo.org.
In the closing 90 seconds or so, tell me about these students.
I wish I could in 90 seconds. What I will tell you is that as you mentioned, I'm a former classroom teacher, and I've had wonderful and not so wonderful experiences in the classroom. And when this first came about, I had some, to be perfectly honest, some reservations, because this program runs based on the students. It doesn't run off of me, and that has been wonderful this year. We actually have 8 right now. We have 8 students right now, and I couldn't ask for a better group.
Very cool. So, Les, this was a great show today.
This has been fun getting to visit with Ken and all the students from Jackson CEO.
Mm-hmm.
What a great program! If it's a program you're not familiar with, it's one you should become familiar with, and really encourage folks, particularly in the business community, to reach out to these students and help them out. And so, man, it's cool to talk about the future of our business community.
This is really, we hear this a lot, Les, like from businesses. How do we get involved? How do we help? This is a great opportunity for businesses to help if you want to invest in the future.
Exactly. So wish we had more time, but that pretty well wraps it up this week on Talk of the Town. We'll be back next Monday morning for more about what makes our community a great place to live, play, and invest. For Gary Williams, I'm Les Odell. We'll see you next week on Talk of the Town.